Convenience breeds impatience. Shalom, this is the brother Bod. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rahahakadash. The bonus to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Yeah, convenience breeds impatience. When you look at Western society in the Western world, even other countries on the eastern part of the world that's been influenced by these Western ideologies and philosophies and customs, people have become very impatient due to convenience. All right, you look at the way society is, mainly over here in America, everything is so accessible and convenient for the people. You got food delivery, you have package delivery, you got a store near your house, not even 5 miles away from your house in most places. You know, even when you look at uh, these delivery businesses that drop off packages of food, you know, you have people sometimes they're so impatient they become so accustomed and used to the convenience of this delivery system that they become so impatient they'll be looking for a package as soon as they ordered it, not even noticing that they have to keep track of their tracking number for when the package is going to arrive, and they immediately just cursing out the delivery person, the delivery driver, just for having so much impatience. All right, you observe these people on the highways, on these interstates, and on these roads, which is a major example of impatience. It seems like everybody's in a rush to get somewhere, as if the place that you're going is going to magically disappear. All right, unless you got somebody that's about to die in your vehicle and you're trying to rush them to the hospital, or your significant other, your woman is about to give birth. There's really no reason for you to be driving like a demon on the roads as if you have somewhere so important to go. You know, but that's just that convenience of having a vehicle that can go up to 200 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? Over 100 miles an hour. You have that convenience of being able to hop in a car, and you become accustomed, all right, and used to these things. When you know people in other countries, they're still traveling by foot in a lot of cases. They're still traveling, you know, by animals in some places, which is really how you're supposed to travel anyways, by animals, all right? Horses, camels, elephants, all right? Animals that were designed to hold that weight. All right, you look at these cars; they are very destructive. All right, you got all these bugged out, drugged up people on these interstates and highways, doing all these turns and switching over, and you see why car crashes are the main example of people dying. Right? You go to these other countries, once again, majority of the people ride buses. All right, they have to wait in lines. They have to wait for the bus to come, which in turn gives them more patience instead of someone that just can hop in their car and just drive to their destination whenever they want, how they want, all right? And then when that person may lose their vehicle, they're fucking impatient because they become accustomed to these things, right? So, like the title of this lesson is going to be Convenience Breeds Impatience. And that's what America has been. This America that you see today that's been built now, that's been established off of the blood, sweat, and tears of the Hebrew Israelites. It's a society of convenience and a society of impatient people. Let me get a quick precept before I continue on. Proverbs chapter 14, verse. Let's go down to verse. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 29. It says, "He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of the spirit exalteth folly." You know, and even when like in cases with fast food, you got these fast food chains. Which if you eating fast food, I mean, you just okay with knowingly eating poison? All right, man. It's all type of shit in these fast food ingredients, man. Pork, dog meat. I wouldn't put past human meat and all other type of chemicals they done cooked up in the lab. But either ways, the point I'm making, you have these fast food chains, right? which the term fast food shouldn't even be a thing because, when you actually take the time out to prep your food, cook your food, or even like how some farmers do or people that grow their own food, they wash that whole, they go through that whole process, which breeds patience. All right, and it's a more enjoyable meal once you actually sit down and cook it for the time and the work and the effort that you put into it. But even when you look at this thing that's been created called fast food, you got people that go to a fast food restaurant, right? Which you're only gonna wait maybe if the place is not packed with a whole bunch of zombies, you might wait. I ain't been to fast food in years. I don't eat that bullshit, but you may wait 3 minutes on average for your food. But you got people that can't even wait that long to get their food. You got some people that'll get to the drive-through like, man, hurry this shit up. You see it all the time. Or they make complaints about the food when you're already eating poison anyways. But point being, these people have become so impatient because everything's just given to them. Everything's just convenient for them. And I'm speaking mainly about over here in America. Yes, it has affected other countries. All right, the book of Revelation tells us about them drinking of the wine of the whore that rideth upon the beast. Yeah, we know this way of living has affected other countries, but mainly here in America is where you see the attributes that really is niggardly attributes. All right, these selfish, impatient, unruly, hasty spirits on these people because of everything that's to your convenience. All right, even when you look at this whole phone thing, all right, smartphones, all right, it's to the point, if you need to call somebody or you need to look up something or you need to search something, it's right there accessible to your hand. Then when a person doesn't have it, they completely lose their mind because they don't feel like waiting. You know, it's just, these people here have become basically defiled by Esau's system, by Esau's setup, and that's not the way that you should live on the earth. All right, always antsy and hasty and I gotta do it now. I want it now. I need it now. All right, that's a main attribute of Esau. But as the ruler, so are the people. So a lot of the attributes that Esau was created with, the rest of the people under his rulership have adopted it. All right, these wicked attributes, man. Matter of fact, let's go over to Proverbs. Let's stay in Proverbs, and let's get the attributes that the Lord hates. Oh, I put an O instead of a P. Let's get the attributes that the Lord hates, that Esau was created with, that majority of the people in this world today have adopted. All right, you're supposed to be exercising the fruit of the Spirit, the righteous attributes, not attributes of the wicked. This is Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. It says, "These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him." All right, a proud look. Everybody here in this society is fucking proud. From the weak to the strong, from the ugly to the pretty, from the rich to the poor, from the healthy to the unhealthy, from the fat to the skinny. Everybody's proud. Everybody thinks they're somebody. Everybody got to tell you, how where they came from or what they achieved, or look at me, look at me. A proud fucking look. A lying tongue. Everybody's lying all the goddamn time. You don't know who even in the truth. You got people that come into call themselves being amongst the brotherhood and the truth lying. All right, a lying. The Lord said He hates these things: a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. All right, murder takes place. No country has a murder rate as close to what America has. Why? Because the people have become as the ruler. A heart that divides of wicked imaginations. People are steady trying to devise how they can get one up on another individual. All right, how they can con another individual, how they can just commit some type of iniquity, and know damn well in the back of their mind that what they're doing is wicked, but they want to do it anyways because it appeases their flesh at that time. Right, which goes into the next trait: feet that be swift into running to mischief. All right, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. These are the things the Lord hates, but these are the traits that the people have adopted. And a lot of that has to do with convenience, and a lot of that has to do with judgment not being executed on the face of this earth. The scriptures say because judgment is not executed speedily. Matter of fact, let me get that. Where is that at in the book of Ecclesiastes? Yeah, let's go ahead over there to Ecclesiastes. What is that? Chapter 8. Ecclesiastes chapter 8. Let's go down to verse. Okay. Yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set into the, and set is fully set in them to do evil. Now, you know, judgment sometimes is executed right when you do that. You have people that do something wicked and get their brains blown out right after doing that. All right, but sometimes the Lord may not get them for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, or He may just wait till they are reincarnated back on earth and get them right. The Lord, it's all in the Lord's plan, but because a lot of times, like when you go in all law, there's certain laws where you did certain things. Well, majority of all our laws really, you did something wicked, you were brought amongst the judges and you were judged according to that, according to our judgment system. You weren't allowed to just run around and do whatever you want, be whoever you want, as long as you don't run a red light and you pay your taxes. All right, there was a righteous standard you had to uphold and upkeep. All right, to be amongst the nation of Israel. All right, verse 12 it says, "Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, see, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, which fear before Him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua." You know, and we look at it as their days being prolonged, but the Lord said is as a shadow, because the Lord's time is much different from our time. He's not bound by a 24-hour clock, or a Monday or a Tuesday, or this many minutes, or that. It doesn't work like that in His realm. So your life that you think is long is a blank in the eyes of the Lord, right? But people don't look at life like that, so they just do things hastily, all right, which in turn ends up with them having a debt to pay to the Lord. And once you at that judgment seat, once your ass dies and you end up in front of the throne of Yahweh Shai, all right, and you receiving your judgment, then you fucked up, but then it's too late for your ass, right? It's too late. And you just don't want to adopt these traits, even though, because we're, like they say, you're a product of your environment. You look at the elect and the hopeful elect, us that are striving, for the grace and mercy of Yahweh Shai to please our Lord. We're amongst these things. We're victim to having convenience too. All right, having these smartphones, even though we know or should know how to balance it out. What we should be mainly using it for is to gain knowledge and wisdom. That's why it was put here. It's called a smartphone. It's supposed to make you smarter, not dumber. But we falling victim to being having convenience too, and a lot of times we'll find ourselves being impatient. But the Lord doesn't like impatient individuals, man. The Lord does things in His time. And His time is perfect. He's always, I don't want to sound like the Christian church, but He's always on time. And that's truthful, And you can't, add. Matter of fact, I got to get that. I must needs get that. like the elders be saying, I must needs get that, because Jake be stressing themselves over things. When you're not in control. Hey, the scriptures tell us there's nothing new under the sun. As long as we're under this sun, we're not writing our own stories, man. Our stories have already been written. All right? You're not in control of anything, so you stressing about something and trying to make something happen. Look, that ain't your job. The Lord's will is gonna take place. You have no say in that, man. You don't have no free will. All right? Contrary to what these people think. Let me see. Let's go to verse 25. Matthew chapter 6, verse 25. This is why you don't have no need to really be impatient at all. It says, "Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life, what ye shall eat, or what ye shall drink, nor yet for what your body, what ye shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body than raiment? Behold, the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are you not much Right. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you by taking thought can add 1 cubit unto your stature? Or why take ye thought for raiment? Right? The Lord is like, which one of you by your thoughts can add to your stature? Or can you prolong your old days of your life? All right, which one of us can add more days to our life? Just think about it and say, I want to live, be 100 years. You're not in control of that, man. The Lord is in the power of has control of the spirits, man. He's the power of the spirits. All right. Now I want to get an example of this wicked King Saul. All right, because he was losing his wits. All right, he was a prime example of being having convenience, and letting it get to his head because he started getting comfortable on the throne and thinking he can do what he want. All right, because the Lord put him on the throne, but you can't do what you want. You have to do the will of the Lord, or you're gonna suffer for it. Let's get the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 13, and let's start at verse 7. It says, "And some of the Hebrews went over Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling." Now, the reason they were trembling, to give some context, the Philistines were about to go to war with Israel during that time for an act that they had committed. Further up in one of these passages, it says what? Yeah, and all of Israel heard say that Saul had smitten a garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also had an abomination with the Philistines. All right, and that was a constant thing in the scriptures. The Canaanites warned against the Israelites, so they knew that the Philistines were great, a great army, and they were anxious, all right, and nervous about that. But they followed Saul trembling, right? Verse 8, and he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. So, Samuel told him, look, wait for me for 7 days, or, wait until I come. All right. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul said, bring hither a burnt offering to me, and peace offerings. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he made an end of the offering, the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came. And Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And Samuel said, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed. So Saul got anxious. Saul got scared. So he tried to throw up a burnt offering, and just do it out of his own will, as if that was going to help him overcome this whole instance with the Philistines. But Samuel was like, why didn't you obey what I told you? All right, the Lord put the Spirit on me to let you know how to handle this situation. Why the hell didn't you wait for me? All right. But it was convenient for him to do that at that time. All right. He could just offer up a burnt offering, but that doesn't mean it was the right thing to do. If he had patience and listened to Saul, he would have been blessed. So reading again, 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 11, Samuel says, what hast thou done? And Saul said, because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that thou camest not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash, right? Therefore said I, the Philistines will come down now upon me to Gilgal, and I have not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. So he got nervous, got scared, got impatient, and forced himself to offer burnt offering instead of waiting on the anointed holy prophet Samuel. Right, verse 13. And Samuel said to Saul, thou hast done foolishly. Thou hast not kept the commandment of the Lord thy power, which he commanded thee. For now would the Lord have established thy kingdom upon Israel forever. So Saul's kingdom would have been established forever, right? But we know whose kingdom is going to be established forever. That's Solomon's kingdom, which in turn is Yahweh HaMashiach. So he got punished for that. He said, look, nah, you ain't your kingdom is going to end, man. This is what he says in verse 14. But now thy kingdom shall not continue. The Lord have sought him a man after his own heart, and the Lord have commanded him to be captain over his people. because thou hast not kept that which the Lord commanded thee. So that shows you how the Lord can judge your ass for being impatient. All right, being hasty in the spirit. This first scripture we brought out was that people hasty in the spirit exalted folliness, because when you're acting in the spirit, when you're hasty in the spirit, you're not moving with wisdom. You're gonna end up doing some folly bullshit. All right, because you're moving carnally at the end of the day. Let me get a quick hit of Galatians chapter 5 verse 22, because remember I brought up the fruits of the spirit, right? It says Galatians chapter 5 verse 22. But the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. So you have long suffering, which in turn is patience, meekness, temperance, all right, which is a balanced spirit, a calm spirit, a stable spirit, which also goes into having patience. Against such there is no law. So those are the attributes you want to have. All right, not this hasty, impatient spirit that people have adopted, over here in the land of that whore. All right, the daughter of Babylon, mystery Babylon, which is America. And you don't want to be like Saul. All right, who you want to be like is James chapter 5. You want to be like what James said in chapter 5 verse 7. Right, this is an exhortation. It says, be patient therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and the latter rain. Because at the end of the day, the kingdom's gonna come, man. It's already written. All right, so the Lord don't mind waiting for his elect to be sealed. You know what I'm saying? He has patience for it because he wants that right fruit, not these rotten fruits. All right, you still have rotten fruit amongst the camps, amongst the brotherhood, that have to be exposed. The Lord is waiting for his fruit, his chosen elect, to be manifested. He has patience for it. Those are the brothers he's waiting to experience the marriage supper of the Lamb with. All right, to be joined into that new covenant in them chariots with him. All right, that bond, that everlasting bond, that everlasting covenant. It says, and have long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Verse 8, it says, be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh. And that's the point. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. And we can't let convenience breed impatience in us, So I hope that was edifying. And to the next time I say shalom.